You ever just stop and wonder about the life you didn't choose, that other path you could have taken? It's a question that kind of haunts us, right? It's this quiet ghost in the background of our lives, a whisper of what might have been. Well, Blake Crouch's novel, Dark Matter, takes that quiet little question and just explodes it into this heart-pounding, reality-bending thriller. It all starts with a life that feels so familiar it could easily be yours or mine. And then, bam, the floor is just ripped out from under you, and you're left with one of the biggest questions there is. Who would you be if you'd made a different choice? So let's meet our guy, Jason Dessen. He's a college physics professor, a husband, a dad. His life isn't about world-changing breakthroughs anymore. Instead, it's a life that's just full of love, warmth, and the simple, beautiful chaos of a family night. I mean, this quote just perfectly captures that moment of peace right before the storm, doesn't it? Picture it. It's a Thursday night. Jason's in the kitchen with his wife, Daniela, who's this amazing artist who put her career on pause for their family. Their son, Charlie, is sketching at the table. It's just comfortable. It's real. It's a life they built on a choice they made together 15 years ago. A life he totally takes for granted until it's just gone. And just like that, it is over. He's walking home, gets abducted at gunpoint, injected with some strange drug, and his whole world just goes black. This isn't some slow burn, It's an instant plunge into absolute chaos, and it grabs you and forces you to ask, what in the world is happening here? So when Jason finally wakes up, the world looks familiar, but it feels fundamentally wrong, The little details are all just slightly off, and the big things, well, the big things are missing entirely. Get this, in this reality, he's not just Jason Dessen. He's Jason Dessen, the scientific superstar. He never married Daniela, they never had Charlie. Instead, he chased his ambition, he stayed in that lab, and he built something that literally defies imagination. He has everything he ever dreamed of professionally, except the one life he actually loves. He's been swapped with a version of himself that made the other choice. And this brings us to the brilliant and, kind of mind-bending core of the book. It's actually built on a real concept from quantum physics, the many worlds interpretation. The whole idea is that every single choice you make, every possibility branches off and creates its own separate, equally real universe. Wild, right? The book makes this huge idea feel incredibly simple with this great analogy. We're the fish, We're just swimming around in our own little pond, totally unaware that there are infinite other ponds, these other realities that exist just outside of what we can see. Jason hasn't just been kidnapped. He's been scooped out of his pond and dropped right into another one. But really, all this high-concept science, it's just the vehicle for a deeply, deeply human story. It's all about that universal feeling of wondering, what if? I mean, this is the heart of it all, right here in the dedication. Dark Matter is a thriller, for sure. But it's also this incredible exploration of our own choices, our own regrets, and all those other lives we imagine for ourselves. It takes that abstract wonder and makes it terrifyingly real. And this chart really lays out the two paths, the two men born from one single decision. We have our hero, Jason 1, who chose love and family. And then we have the other guy, Jason 2, who chose ambition and genius. One life is grounded, it's happy. The other is, spectacularly successful, but it's also empty, haunted by the memory of the woman he let get away. And as the author himself says, this isn't just some sci-fi gimmick, it's a question every single one of us asks. The book uses this incredible, terrifying journey through parallel worlds to explore how our choices don't just change our circumstances, they fundamentally change who we are. But underneath all the physics and the chase scenes and the suspense, what's really driving this story is something much, much simpler. It's a love story. It's about how far one man will go across infinite worlds just to get back to the one person who makes his life mean something. Even before he was abducted, this was Jason's deepest fear. It was never about losing some prize or professional glory. It was always about losing his connection to Daniela. She's his home. She's his anchor in the world. And when he's thrown into the multiverse, that fear becomes his new reality. You know that saying, you don't know what you've got till it's gone? That's Jason's journey. It's only by losing absolutely everything that he truly understands what he had. His desperate fight to get home isn't just about survival. It's about getting back to a life he now sees as a complete miracle. And this is what Daniela tells him. Think about it. In a story where Jason confronts infinite versions of himself, some better, some way worse, she is the one constant. Their love is the one true thing that defines him.
It's the signal in the noise of all those endless possibilities.
So, as we think about this story, it really leaves us with some powerful questions to explore, just like you would in a book club. So, let's think about a few of them together. This is such a fascinating thing to chew on, right? Because the book shows us a version where they are apart and Daniela is the celebrated artist. So, was their happiness in our world a conscious choice, a lot of hard work, or was it fate? It really makes you think about the difference between soulmates and life partners. The novel really presents this as a stark choice. You get profound personal fulfillment, or you get unparalleled professional success. Is it really possible to have both? The book seems to argue that you have to choose one, and it makes you ask yourself, which sacrifice is worth more?
And this, of course, is the question that brings it all back home to us. If you could open a door to another one of your lives, one where you made a different, pivotal choice, would you? And maybe more importantly, do you think you'd be happier there? In the end, the book leaves us with this beautiful, kind of haunting thought that maybe we aren't just the person standing here today. Maybe we're also an echo of all the people we could have been, all those other lives living on, somewhere in the dark matter of who we are.